Exactly a month to the day since little Gus Lamont vanished in the state's outback, new theories have emerged about just how far he might have gone.
An expert from Flinders University suggesting he may have ventured well beyond the area that's been extensively searched.
It's been weeks since 4-year-old Gus Lamont vanished from his family's remote property in South Australia. A boy who once played in the dust beneath the open sky, gone without a trace. The search had ended. Hope had faded. But now, police are back. And the question on everyone's mind is simple: why return if they'd already searched everything? The draining of a dam near the Oak Park homestead has reignited attention on this haunting case. What could they be hoping to find? Or, what did they already know? Before we go further, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who's been following Gus's story, subscribe for more real investigations like this, and comment where you're watching from. Because this is the Search Resumes. What did they find? For weeks, the disappearance of 4-year-old Gus Lamont seemed to have reached a heartbreaking standstill. Police had scaled back their operations, shifting from a rescue to what they quietly termed a recovery mission. In other words, they no longer expected to find Gus alive. Thousands of search hours had already been logged. Officers, military personnel, and volunteers swept through the unforgiving terrain around Oak Park Station, a harsh, dry region where even experienced bushmen lose their sense of direction. Air and ground searches covered massive distances. Drones scanned from above. Cadaver dogs combed the dusty paddocks. Yet, nothing, no clothing, no fresh tracks, no sign of the little boy who vanished while playing just meters from his grandmother's watch. Then, without much warning, police returned to the property. This time, their focus narrowed, a dam not far from the homestead, one that had already been searched early in the investigation. Divers had gone into that murky water weeks before and reported nothing unusual. But now, Task Force Horizon made a bold move. They began draining the dam completely, removing roughly 3.2 million liters of water, layer by layer, until its muddy bottom was exposed. The announcement came quietly. Officially, police said the move was to conduct a more comprehensive visual search, to eliminate, once and for all, the possibility that Gus had drowned. But locals and online followers of the case questioned the timing. Why revisit an area that had already been cleared? What new information could possibly justify such an expensive and time-consuming operation? For some, it suggested there might be more beneath the surface, not just in the dam, but in the story itself. As the dam drained, curiosity spread fast. For more than 3 hours, officers worked methodically, watching as the once still water sank lower and lower. The entire area was sealed off, no cameras, no outsiders, only police and recovery experts on site. People nearby said they could feel the tension in the air. It wasn't just about what they might find, it was about what they hadn't found. After weeks of searching, not even a shred of clothing, a toy, or a single footprint beyond the first one had turned up. The dam seemed like one of the few remaining questions left to answer. When the final puddles cleared and the soft mud was exposed, the result was quietly devastating: nothing. No sign of Gus, no hint of foul play, no trace to explain where he went. The police released a brief statement saying only that the dam had been fully searched and ruled out. That moment deepened the mystery even more. How could a 4-year-old boy simply vanish, in broad daylight, from a property so remote, surrounded by open land, with no one seeing or hearing a thing? Investigators went back to the drawing board. They reviewed every line of inquiry: the tracks, the terrain, the timing. Task Force Horizon, as the operation was officially called, still believed there was no evidence of foul play. Yet, that belief only raised more questions than answers. If no one took Gus, and he didn't fall into the dam, then where did he go? Search teams had already covered miles of rough country, using drones, thermal imaging, and helicopters. Nothing. Not even a dropped boot or piece of fabric. It was as if the land itself had swallowed him. Local residents began revisiting their own memories of that evening. Some claimed they saw unusual animal tracks, others mentioned a sudden drop in temperature just before dusk, The kind of chill that can make the outback feel eerie and empty. And still, despite the whispers and theories, the truth remained hidden in silence. Gus's family, still cooperating with police, held on to hope. But behind closed doors, grief and exhaustion had started to take their toll. Every call from authorities brought both fear and relief, fear of bad news, and relief that the case wasn't forgotten. As word spread that the dam search turned up nothing, attention shifted to the one thing investigators couldn't explain: the single small footprint found near the property. It matched the boots Gus was wearing that day. But beyond it, the trail simply stopped. No drag marks, no scuff, no follow-up prints heading anywhere. Just one faint impression in the dust, like a child had stepped there and vanished into thin air. Locals who knew the land said it didn't make sense. Even in the hard-baked soil of the outback, a 4-year-old leaves more than one print if he's walking. Some began to wonder whether that footprint had always been there, or whether it was left later, a strange reminder rather than a clue. Police didn't comment further. They focused on ruling out the dam, closing that line of search for good. But to many who'd followed the case from the start, it felt less like closure and more like the start of another unanswered question. After the dam search ended, Task Force Horizon confirmed they were still pursuing multiple lines of inquiry, but offered no details. That silence only fueled more speculation. Neighbors whispered that the area around Oak Park had a strange history. A few even claimed this wasn't the first time a child had gone missing near those dry plains. One local farmer reportedly told a journalist that, years ago, his own son had vanished briefly in the same region, found days later, disoriented and unable to explain where he'd been. To outsiders, that story might sound like rumor. But to those living nearby, it added another layer to the growing mystery. Could something about this land, vast, harsh, and unforgiving, be swallowing its own? And if Gus truly wandered off, why had no search, by foot, air, or even drone, found a single trace beyond that one footprint? Weeks passed, and the dust around Oak Park settled, but the unease never did. The search teams had left, the helicopters gone silent, and yet the feeling that something remained unfinished lingered like a weight in the air. Online, discussions reignited, people asking whether draining the dam was truly the last step, or if authorities had stopped just short of something more. Some claimed that police found something unusual but chose not to disclose it. Others said the family was told to stay quiet. Through all this, one question grew louder: if the dam was drained, and nothing was found, then where is Gus? The land keeps its secrets. And maybe, just maybe, this one wasn't meant to be uncovered so easily. Even now, months after the search was called off, the people of Yunta still whisper about Oak Park Station. They say the land feels different, quieter than usual, almost like it's holding its breath. Travelers passing through describe a strange stillness in the air, and some claim they've seen faint, tiny footprints appearing in the dust near the drained dam, prints that seem to vanish before anyone can follow them. Locals don't go near that part of the property anymore. Not because they believe in ghosts, but because the place feels wrong, as if it's carrying a secret too heavy for anyone to uncover. A few believe Gus is still out there, somewhere in the vast emptiness of the outback. They say the land keeps what it loves and hides what it cannot explain. Others think there's more to this story than police will ever reveal, that maybe something, or someone, knows exactly what happened that evening but has chosen silence over truth. And so, the mystery of Gus Lamont continues to haunt the Australian outback. The dam was drained, but not the doubts. The land gave no answers, only more questions. If you believe the truth hasn't been told, share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, in every disappearance, there's always more than what meets the eye. The truth isn't gone, it's just waiting to be found. And that brings us to the hardest question of all: what really happened to Gus Lamont? Was it a tragic accident lost to the vastness of the outback? Or did something else happen, something no one dares to speak about? The drained dam proved only one thing: sometimes, even when you search everywhere, the answers still refuse to surface. As the weeks turn into months, people begin to move on, but some can't. His family, the locals, and even those who never met Gus still wonder if justice or closure will ever come. Because when a story ends with silence, it doesn't really end, it lingers. So, as we close this chapter, I'll leave you with this: in a world that forgets too quickly, remembering might be the only way to keep the truth alive. If you believe Gus's story deserves to be told until the very end, like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Comment below where you're watching from, and tell us, what do you think really happened to Gus Lamont?